We're live. Hey, everybody, this is Kurt Molly, Social Media Ad Genius. We have some amazing people. We've been talking about funnels and results. We have Mr. Bobby on here, Craig, Debbie, and, of course, the amazing Tommy. Hey, everybody, welcome. We just went over our accountability sheet, so if you're watching the recording, make sure you fill in the accountability sheet. Let's talk about some achievements here real quick. So Debbie's wrapped up her funnel. She's wrapped up the follow-up process. You know, we really talk about how are you going to follow up with people. You got to have email and some retargeting plans as well. So Debbie, you've completed the email process on your funnel to get started as well, and you're working with some celebrities. So in the scheme of things, you really haven't worked on things too long, and you are much farther ahead than most of the general public. So congratulations, Debbie. You are absolutely amazing. The Tommy recently had a birthday. Happy birthday, Tommy. That was good. Tommy said he did not spend it in his birthday suit. We will not talk about this publicly because it is being recorded. But of course, Tommy is rocking and rolling. We're going to see Tommy coming down later this week or later next week for Traffic and Conversion, our special mastermind we have on Monday. So if you're seeing this recording, if you're seeing this recording, today's February 11th. If you come out to Traffic and Conversion on that Monday, you know we have a mastermind that's going on as well. So lots of really good stuff. And Bobby tells us they signed up more registrants for their college than ever before, which is awesome. And they're doing some really cool things with marketing. Full disclosure, not only is Bobby involved here, but the company that Bobby is with has also hired Black Box Social Media to help out with some of their internet marketing as well, so full disclosure there. And then one of the things we've been talking about with Craig is he gets, and I won't disclose the number, some crazy leads at a very inexpensive rate. It's great when you get super cheap leads, but you got to have some revenue to follow up with it in a really quick manner. Talked about doing just a coaching course, a $297. Craig said it best, some down and dirty little ways, and dramatically shot up that earnings per click. Again, we don't talk about numbers on recording unless it's anybody else that wants to. We just share the numbers inside of our doc. But man, it's awesome sometimes. Just a small little change can make a huge difference. So a couple of things. Earnings per click. If your earnings per click is kind of low, you know, just your earnings divided by your opt-ins or divided by clicks, sometimes offering a little bit higher price point. Craig starts out with $7, could be $97. $297 is great, really adds to the bottom line. Plus, you got some amazing leads to follow up with. Bobby is instituting, I know, some really interesting follow-up ways as well. But at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out how do we get more qualified leads and how do we monetize those leads even more. One of the things that we were talking about, unfortunately, Emilio had to drop off, was really taking a look at our funnels and our tracking using Google Analytics. So I went to an event this weekend. It was a private, invite-only, had to sign an NDA, couldn't talk about where we were at, couldn't take any pictures of where we were at, couldn't post on social media of where we were at, which is really quite interesting, but I really understand the process once I was there, and just grateful for the events that we get to run around in. And the reason we're invited is just because we're offering additional value, and we really truly do want to help out other people. You know, do the same in your business and attend as many events as you can. We're going up to Traffic and Conversion this year, so one of the largest events out there in our niche. We've been going for 5 years, and it's just amazing. It's like showing up with family now, and very few people do things consistently. I mean, everybody here that's on the call right now shows up on a consistent basis. Awesome. Congratulations. A lot of times, 90% of it literally is just showing up. So thank you guys all for being here. Well, the conference we're going to go to in Traffic and Conversion, I'll come back. We'll share a lot of information. I'm going to be kind of running back and forth, so we'll still have our meeting. It depends if you're at Traffic and Conversion. Obviously, you're not obligated to come to Cruise Control. I will, because we hold it every single week. Give me a little chance to break away as well. But as many of you already know, I try to attend as many events as possible. It's really where I find just these small little nuggets of gold that make a huge difference for my business. So what's interesting is Craig, I appreciate that, and you don't have to come off. I appreciate the case study that you went over. There was a guy there at the event that he has this bracelet. It's amazing, but what it does is it shocks you, and it helps you to quit smoking. It can improve your memory. Literally, if you have a habit that you want to break, every time you do the habit, you hit the button, it'll give you a little shock, and you're like, ah! But it does some crazy things with your brain. Like, he's working with some brain scientists right now on it. It is super awesome. He's made money online before. He's been featured in USA Today. He's been featured on the Today Show. He's been featured in some really cool public venues. However, he kind of took the other path that, so two roads, my favorite saying, two roads diverged in a yellow road. I decided to choose the road less traveled by, and in my life that's made all the difference. So this guy with the shock bracelet says, hey, look, this can help quit smoking. This can help improve memory. This is great for college kids, great for athletes, weight loss, dieting. There's so many things that this thing can use, and it's absolutely brilliant. So what I've done is we built lots of different pages. So if people are searching, they're going to find the bracelet, they're going to find this, and then I'm going to target this, and I'm going to target this, and then I'm going to target this. And he went on for like 10 minutes telling me all the different things that they were targeting. And he's like, okay, now I want to run paid traffic. But I got to run paid traffic to all this stuff, so it's going to be really expensive, so I need to make sure it works. And I'm just like, this is the complete opposite than what Craig had taken from our conversations, which was just get something out there really quick, send them to one page, one spot, one idea, make money there, and then start expanding into whatever, the non-smoking, the other stuff, whatever else you're going to do. It's really not that complicated. You remember, and I say this over and over, people buy your marketing, or your marketing sells your product, and your product keeps people from refunding, right? So you don't have to spend a whole lot of time making the sales funnel just perfect. Show the value, show people what they're going to get, make it really easy for them to buy. Or one of the guys I worked with before in marketing that helped construct our funnels is I told people, as he basically said, is, hey, give people enough information to get them intrigued, get them excited, provide value, and then give them an opportunity to buy, not sell them. Hey, look, here's what we got. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're putting together. Here's what's going on. Here's what the cost is. It's your opportunity right now if you want to take it or not. I'm not going to hard sell you on it. If you want to, and I'm going to make this up for our stuff, if you want to build your funnels, learn about retargeting, learn from copy directly, have us take a look at your ads, you should show, one of the things is you have an option to show up to Bunker Weekend. This Bunker Weekend is $3,000. A lot of times we charge more than that, but this Bunker Weekend is 2.5 days where we're going to talk about your funnel and set up retargeting. So if you believe that time is for you right now, I'm going to make you an offer, but the offer is only going to be up for 48 hours because we're only going to have about 15 people that come down. So we give people the opportunity to buy or the opportunity to make a decision. Very much like I know what Bobby's doing with applicants that are coming into their school as well too, is why hard close someone that doesn't want to be there? You don't have to drown them in information, but give them enough information so they can buy. Now, as we're talking about information, one of the things I talked about on my own personal accountability sheet was, we've talked about that a lot, but was setting up Google Analytics and having dashboards. Now, the mastermind I went to this last weekend was really important, very insightful. And one person had said this, which was really good. They go, look, Google Analytics, if you're running traffic on a regular basis, which we highly encourage you to do, right, you should be able to find out, for example, and I have this written on my board, you should be able to tell how many people clicked on an ad, on a specific ad, how many people went to that lander, what happens after that lander. Do you retarget them? What happens? When you start setting up these goals or these dashboards, and I'll help you find a product that can help walk you through it. I don't know it very well. We have Joey that works here who's absolutely awesome, that helps out with a lot of our Google Analytics. But Google will actually tell you how many people land on your page, where are they from, and like Tommy asked the question, this is absolutely all for free. But it'll tell people where they're from, did they opt in, how long did they sit on your landing page. Some software will even show you where they moused over or where their eyes actually looked on your page. You don't really require any of that stuff until you're running traffic on a regular basis, right? The first thing is, I want to go back to what Craig said before, the first thing that we want to be able to do is we want to get something down and dirty to at least start getting some leads and start making some sales. From there, we can start fine-tuning and looking at our numbers. But one of my confessions that I had this morning for the group, or this afternoon, was, hey, look, we're spending $1 and making $3 on Smag right now. It's awesome. But my tracking's kind of broke. I don't have Google Analytics to say, this ad is producing this many leads, or this ad's producing this many sales. Or when people look at the webinar, get this follow-up email, listen to the webinar replay, go to a blog post, they've had 4 different exposures, then they typically go to X page. All this can be learned from inside of Google Analytics. You just have to constantly be running traffic so all that data can flow together to be able to use the data overall. Now, I'm not going to cover this today because unfortunately we just don't have time, But as you start gathering as you start gathering data from Google Analytics can even help you set up retargeting as well too. So for instance, if someone reads your main page, they read the About Us page, they read about your next level coaching page, Google Analytics can say, oh, they viewed these 3 pages, show this ad. But again, that's all the fancy stuff that can happen as you're running consistent traffic. So if you don't already have it, highly suggest setting up Google Analytics. I'll talk to a good buddy of mine, Chris Mercer. I know he has a course that he's just finishing. I got to follow up with that. But being able to set up a dashboard to find out how many clicks are coming to your site, where are people visiting, what time of the day, what are they looking at. Google's getting a lot better about giving you demographics as well as who's visiting your page, can be absolutely critical to your business. Because really what I always explain to people is you always want to be running consistent traffic. Like, never turn off your traffic. You don't want your retargeting to die. You don't want your follow-up to die. You're always refining the process just a little bit more. So if you're spending at least $50 a day in ads besides just likes, actually I'd probably say $100 a day. If you're spending at least $100 a day, it's a good idea to hook up Google Analytics. Tommy, if you're just starting out, for an example, because I know you just recently put up your website, perspective of how long you've been through business, there's a site called Get Clicky, which we can help you set up as well. Again, that's Get Clicky, and it really just shows you what's flowing through your website. It's not as fancy as Google Analytics, but it's really easy to learn. At the end of the day, this is just a math problem. They're all simple numbers. One of my good friends, John Tarr, says this: it's 5th grade math to really run a 7-figure business. It's it. Because once you start knowing your numbers, it's, oh, make this small little tweak, like we talked with Craig, of 297 to, or make this small little tweak of your opt-in that can double your opt-in rate. But if you're spending the money, you're really investing the money in the data, right? You're buying data. So as you're buying more and more data, make sure, really important, make sure that you have a really good, sound follow-up process as well, too. So really important. Yes, Tommy, you have a question, sir?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Why would you suggest Get Clicky over Google Analytics for me?
So a couple of different things. First of all, Google Analytics sometimes can be a little difficult to set up because there's lots of triggers. Get Clicky is you just install a little piece of code like you would your retargeting code on your pages, and it'll read all your pages. You don't have to run as much traffic as Craig does to make the money that you make, because each lead is so valuable to you, meaning you make so much off of it. So if you were to have a product that was sold for $7 and you had to have thousands of customers, I'd say, yeah, let's get nitty-gritty with the Google Analytics. But for you, you just require a steady flow of leads because you're high price point per leads. You don't need all the bells and whistles that Craig does, because he has such a he gets opt-ins for such a small price, but he has to run them through lots of different things to take a look at where he can retarget and whatnot. Yeah. Now, it depends on how much money Bobby's spending as well, too, but a lot of his process is an internal follow-up. So what we like to do is, as you can tell, this has kind of been the theme we're kind of using Craig for the day, is let's get down and dirty, make it really simple, make it effective, then after that, kind of figure it out to grow it a little bit more.
Cool.
Or I could have just said, because Tommy, you're not going to understand Google Analytics, they're not for you. You should get Clicky. That's what all the slow people use. But I didn't say that, just to let you know.
I can handle
that. I mean, honestly, I was telling our guy here, Joey, I'm like, hey, Joey, do you know why we didn't use Google Analytics? And he's like, no, why? Nick and I didn't really know how to run it. He goes, is that what you guys have, Get Clicky? Yeah, it seemed pretty simple. I mean, you can't really do much with it. Like, it shows you some really cool stuff. It'll even show you some heat mapping, like where people spend time, like where they move their mouse. It's funny because you can actually see on your website where people, they read sometimes with their mouse, and you can tell, are people scrolling down, what buttons are they clicking on. So all that stuff's really interesting. They're not going to set you up retargeting audiences, but more data you have, the better information that you can, or the better decisions you can make with the information. And then once you start running a lot of data, then move over to Google Analytics. Yes, sir, Tommy, the floor is yours.
I saw you posted somewhere in one of the Facebook groups that you use Quaya. Is that how it's pronounced?
Quaya. Yes.
Quaya. What is that for, and should the rest of us be using it too?
No, no.
Okay.
Quia is just, if you want to create a UTM code, which means this ad is blue, I'm going to target it to entrepreneurs, it's going to be targeted in Canada, how much, what does the traffic look like? Quia will help you deploy ads, but if you were spending $250 a day and you had done it for over 60 days, I'd say, hey, let's take a look at Quia. But what I like to tell lots of people is I don't want to overcomplicate it. Let's perfect what you're using and learning right now, and then once you start building, then it's a building block, we move to the next one. What I find a lot of times is a lot of entrepreneurs will start testing one thing, test another, test another. 90 days later, we're like, hey, how are things going? And people are like, oh my God, I have so much to do. Right, what have you done? So many options. Damn it, what specifically have you done? Right? So my opinion, I'd stick with what you're using right now. We've used Power Editor the entire time. We're just now using a little bit more and more Quia. We still use Power Editor for Smag stuff, for example. So in my opinion, I would not be worried about moving until you start spending $250 a day on a regular basis, and you need to take your 2 hours a day of running ads and condense it down to 30 minutes.
Gotcha.
But I will tell you this, Quia is really cool, but if you hit one button wrong, it's really cool to create a lot of fucked up ads that really spend a lot of money. I will tell you that. So make it short, simple, and sweet. You know what I mean?
I'm going to go with what I know.
Exactly. Like being a good dresser. Tommy, you got it covered.
You're a bad person.
We have that on recording, just to let you know. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that up later. All right, guys, I got to run here in just a couple of minutes. That was the main thing I wanted to cover is, hey, we were finding some really good success. I wanted to really get through the Google Analytics. So my goals for Social Media Ad Genius for the week is, of course, we're going to be out in the conference, so not a lot of stuff is going to change. Nick, Tom, and I are going to fly out on Sunday. We have our own location, then we move to another location on Monday. We're going to film a lot of videos, do some updated content. I got some really good reporting videos that we just filmed as well, too. We'll be adding those in the back of Social Media Ad Genius. And then, the big thing that we're going to work out in traffic and conversion, and if you're watching this video, hopefully you can see there too, is, we're going to have a pretty big launch, whether that come in March or April, and we're going to have 15 of some really well-known people hit send on an email for us for Social Media Ad Genius 2.0. It'll be $997. Everybody here gets a free upgrade, and that's going to come with a 2-day live event. We're probably going to do something like a 6-week training where we walk people through it as well too. But this is not where 20 or 30 people come in. This is where thousands of people come in all at once, and we then have a big black box party at the end of the year. So lots of good things going on, lots of good changes. I'll keep you updated to everything that we learn at Traffic and Conversion. Remember, if you're watching this or the recording and you come out to Traffic and Conversion the Monday before, we're going to have a private mastermind. If you haven't got your invite yet, you're absolutely invited. Send support at socialmediaadgenius.com an email, or I'll remember to send you an email. I got a whole long list of my stuff to remember and about 4 calls lined up. So if you don't hear anything from me at the end of the day, please send support an email. Not that I didn't forget about you, it just gets busy. Other than that, does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns, or divine revelations as we start cranking on our next objectives? We good?
We're good.
Thanks to everybody. You are amazing individuals. Cannot wait to see you till next week. See you all live here in a couple of days. See you guys. Congratulations on your success last week. Awesome job, everybody. Yes, Tom.
Real quick. After this, do you have about 5 minutes to talk to me on the phone?
I don't right now. I will 7 o'clock tonight. If you want to do 7, I have calls back to back to back to back with no rest whatsoever until 7.
Okay. Should I wait? Do you want to call me when you're free, or do you want me to call you at 7?
Call me at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, bro.
See you, buddy. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay.